Welcome back to NCC Sports in this very special edition. March Madness is coming to an end. Only 4 teams left, and we're gonna analyze, break everything for you guys. Who's gonna win this? I'm here with my two analysts, Allume and Tyler Dudley. How you guys doing?
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. So let's start this. First game, number 11 Loyola Chicago living a Cinderella story here, facing number 3 Michigan. The question is the clock ticking midnight and the Cinderella dreams coming to an end, or no?
Well, I mean, you would think so. I mean, Loyola, they've made a great run thus far. The 11th seed, nobody expected them to be here, and they've won, 3 out of 4 games on last-second shots. I mean, I love the story. I love the help of Sister Jean, and it seems like somewhat divine intervention with them. But I think they have their toughest matchup thus far against this Michigan team, the Big Ten champions. They haven't lost since February 6th, and since then they've had an average margin of victory of more than 12 points. So for Loyola to win, they can't rely on the luck that they've had, and they'll need to contain Michigan from the three-point line, where Michigan is shooting over 36% as a team.
I think overall, yes, they are a really big Cinderella story. They have Sister Jean behind them, but in my opinion, all of their games have come down to the last seconds, and they've gotten very lucky making those shots. And I think against this number 3 Michigan team, I don't think those last second shots are really going to be there for them. They have to hit more than just those last second shots. They do have, I will give them that, they do have Clayton Cluster. He's one of the best offensive players that they have. But even then, if they keep up their good ball movement and they try to contain Michigan, they have the number 4 defense right now. I just don't think that Loyola Chicago is going to be able to pull it through. I would love for them to because of their Cinderella story, but it's going to be a tough one.
All right, moving to the other side of the bracket, we have 2 number 1s facing each other, Villanova and Kansas. What do you guys think of the game?
I'm going to say Villanova. They've just been so consistent all season long. They are an absolutely incredible team. They have Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. There's so many players to look out for. They're shooting around average of 12 three-pointers a game. That is just absolutely ridiculous. So I think Kansas is really going to have to push them inside the paint and try to draw them inside and keep them from shooting outside the arc.
Absolutely. I mean, both of these two teams are offensive juggernauts. 1 seed versus 1 team. Both of them are ranked in the top 5 for the season. I mean, they've survived the upsets of the tournament so far. Again, they're both offensive juggernauts with Kansas. They're ranked 11th in field goal shooting and three-point shooting. And then Villanova, they're leading the NCAA in scoring. I mean, for Kansas to win, they're going to need to go to their guy, Devontae Graham, and he's going to have to keep making plays for them. And they're also going to have to contain Villanova from the three-point line, where Villanova is shooting over 40% as a team. But I think Villanova just might be a little bit too much for Kansas in this one. They're just so good offensively. They're going to be hard to stop.
I completely agree.
Okay, talking about women now, UConn, undefeated so far. The question is, are they going to be able to win it all?
I think the answer is yes. This team is an offensive juggernaut year in and year out. We just see them dominate the entire field. I mean, they're undefeated. They're ranked number 1 in offensive efficiency, number 1 in defensive efficiency, number 1 in opponent shooting efficiency, number 1 in foul rate, number 1 in margin of victory per possession. Across the board, these guys are just phenomenal. Now they're going to probably face the best team they faced in Notre Dame, but they're just so good, and I feel like they're a little bit anxious, having lost in the championships last season, that they're just looking for that chance to redeem themselves and get back to their winning ways. Like before last season's loss, they won 4 straight national championships, so they're trying to start a new streak in this season.
And see, I think them losing last year in the semifinal to Mississippi State, breaking their 111 game win streak, I think that's really going to be the true testament for them coming up against Notre Dame. I think, like you said, they're number 1 in the nation, all around. They're a very well-rounded team. They're really good at shooting, really good defensively. They're undefeated on this season. That is just so crazy. 36 games. I think that they're either going to play really well and try to prove themselves and redeem themselves from this loss last year this time around, or it's just going to get to them and they're going to get too nervous and they're just going to break, and Notre Dame is just going to run all over them.
Absolutely.
So I think it could go. They're a great team, but I think it can go either way. I'm
going with UConn as well. I think it's a good redemption story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, talking local now, Syracuse, huge loss for Syracuse. Darius basically has committed and decided not to go. He decided to go to the G League. What is the impact this is going to bring to the team for the next season?
Well, I mean, he said it himself. He said that he's hoping that, he could be the pioneer of this. He could be that trailblazer that kind of forges a new path for these guys coming out of high school. A lot of these players, they don't really want to play, college basketball. They're looking more to just go from high school into the NBA, but the NBA has done away with that with the one and done rules. But now he's going to the G League, where he'll still be able to at least turn to 19 or have a year removed from high school, and then he'll be able to join the NBA. But he's taking a huge chance on himself, saying that I'm going to be the best player in the G League. Now, I'm not going to say that the players in the G League are better than the players that he would face night in and night out in the NCAA, but you just never know. Like, these guys are older than you, they've been playing, so it's not guaranteed that you're just going to be able to have your way. But he's taking that bet on himself, and I don't mind that. We just have to wait and see how it goes, and this might start the trend, and now players will start going to the G League as opposed to going overseas, as opposed to, just going and playing that 1 year in college. So we'll see.
I think it really is a waiting game with him. He's a first 5-star prospect to skip college to go to the G League, and that's a big deal. We see one and done rule done all the time. Marvin Bagley just committed to the NBA draft from Duke. I think this is really going to be a true testament. He's doing it for himself, and I completely understand that. But he's also so young. How can you, in my mind, I think when I was 17, 18 years old, graduating high school, I couldn't even, not that I was good enough to play professionally in any sport for that matter, but
Right.
I couldn't even imagine committing to play professionally. I just think it's going to be a true testament, and to his talent, it's really going to push him. Hopefully it helps him grow. I'm hoping for the best, but I think it's going to be a big waiting game on this one.
Okay, continuing on the ACC, sorry. We have changing coaches here. Pittsburgh has now Jeff Capel, Chris Mack's taking Louisville. What does that mean for the conference and for those teams in general?
Well, I really like the hiring of Capel for Pittsburgh. I mean, this is a guy who's had success in VCU and at Oklahoma. He didn't really have any losing seasons until the last 2 seasons at Oklahoma, but that was more a result of, injuries and off-the-court issues. I think he'll really be able to provide a culture change, especially considering that he's had the last 5 seasons or so to learn from Coach K, Coach Krasinski over Mike Krzyzewski over at Duke. So hopefully he picked up a couple things from him, and he'll be able to change that Pittsburgh team around, and we won't see an 0-18 finish in ACC play like we did last season.
I think both of these coaching changes are going to be really good for the team. I think it's really going to help the ACC grow. Pittsburgh, they really weren't a contender this season around, so I'm really hoping that these coaching changes really do help them. Like you said, he worked under Coach K for so long. I think he really has a lot going for him.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's the end of our block. We're coming next. Baseball season is back, and we're going to analyze all of that.